I came here to a completely new world and a completely new place, and I had my coworkers and supervisors make it more comfortable for me so that I could just be myself and do my job.
I felt included. I felt like I was supposed to be there.
And I remember the guy at the computer next to me, he came over right away and said, "What do you need?"
I got started in the automobile industry when somebody was actually able to point out that I was bilingual. So for the first time in my life, the fact that I spoke English and Spanish was a competitive advantage.
Once those guys who were on my team showed me that I was part of their team, I could deal with all the other stuff because I knew I had them. And it built trust, and to me the whole deal is trust.
I'm not a stereotype. I'm not in a particular box, and that I'm human like anyone else.
Life would be pretty boring if we were all the same. Identical robots going through the predictable motions of life. Fortunately for all of us, we live in an interesting world. A diverse world. New ideas, new music, new restaurants with new kinds of food, new people. At work, your teams and coworkers are becoming more diverse. Your clients and customers are too. We're all different, but this also means that sometimes we feel different. We feel like an outsider. It happens to all of us. Here's my personal story.
When I was 18, I took a job with UPS in the unloading department, so I was the youngest person in the department, and I was also the only female out of 20 other employees. So I remember being super nervous and super unsure about how it was all going to go. I wasn't sure if I was going to be harassed or if they would think I couldn't do the job. And I got there. My manager came up to me and he said, "Welcome to the department. You're one of us. So if anyone bothers you, you just let me know." And I remember just feeling a huge sense of relief.
You know, it may not seem like much, what my manager did for me, but scientific research shows that even small gestures of support make people feel more connected. And it's also been shown they have surprisingly long-lasting effects. So we can all make a difference, just like my manager did for me, by reaching out to others. We don't always think about reaching out to others, and it's not always easy. In fact, resistance to outsiders runs deep. Even the way we talk about it adds to the challenge. For example, the word stranger has negative meanings in most cultures. Researchers speculate that the suspicion of strangers is tied to evolution, that it's been around for hundreds of thousands of years. This feeling is so strong, it even applies when a new group is formed and everyone is new. One study showed when two people who don't know each other get into a room first and a third person enters only a minute later, the new person assumes a group has been established that might discriminate against them. We've all been in situations like this, both excluding others and feeling excluded. Maybe we were the new kid in school, went to a business event where we didn't know anyone, first day on the job, or at a party where we felt out of place.
I was in a very beautiful, quaint little small town, and I was like, oh, there's not a lot of black people here. And my friend said to me, why is that something you always notice when there aren't a lot of black people there? And I'm like, I was just, mentioning it. And a couple of weeks later, we were in a jazz club where it was all black people and they were the only white person. And then it became very obvious to them, I'm the only white person here. And I said, do you see what I mean now? All of a sudden, now you realize that you're the only white person here.
We don't notice the dominant culture when we're a part of it. We do notice when we're not. Most of us feel more comfortable with people who are more like us, or with people we already know, because people we don't know feel different. Are they a threat? Will they cause disruption or use up scarce resources? If we're the outsider, we wonder, will I be accepted? How do I fit in? Let's be realistic. It takes effort to overcome these instinctive fears and concerns. It takes openness to connect with others. It takes time, and it's important. In connecting with coworkers, small gestures count. Even a smile. Try saying hello if you pass someone in the hallway.
Just go ahead.
If they're in your department or on your team, get to know them.
Hi, you're Devin, right?
Yeah.
My name is Katie. Welcome to the team.
Hi, Katie. I'm really excited to be here. A little nervous.
I think you'll like it here. Lots to do, and everyone helps out.
Oh, by the way, who do I talk to about my employee login?
Sure.
If someone reaches out, meet them in the middle. Inclusiveness can feel uncomfortable at times, but it's worth the effort.
I used to work in research, and this is kind of a new world to me.
I think you're going to be great, and you can come talk to me anytime.
Include newcomers in group discussions.
There's something wrong with the circuitry.
We've tested it 3 times and it's failed every time.
Marlene, can you come here and take a look? Any ideas?
In my training, it said that the machine would insert twice if it misfires.
Good catch, Marlene.
Thank you.
Hey, welcome aboard.
Hi.
My name is Ali, over in marketing.
I'm Curtis.
You getting around the building okay?
Yeah, no problem.
Great. Hey, I hear you're taking on the distributor accounts. I can help with that. I used to be the guy.
Really?
The big thing is keeping the discount schedule straight. I might be able to find my old cheat sheet.
Wow, I could really use that.
I'll link you up with Nadia. She's in accounting, and she does some stuff with them, too.
Great. Thank you so much for your help.
Anytime. No problem.
Outsiders become embedded through positive experiences and the connections they make with others.
So when I was working in Seattle at a retail store, I had a hearing problem, and I went in and got tested and got hearing aids. And so I'm struggling with the hearing, and I'm wearing hearing aids and feeling like an outsider. And our general manager said, "What's going on?" And she understood right away what was happening. And we went around to all the employees and talked to everybody. And I explained my situation. And I was struggling and not hearing. And then all of a sudden they got it. Half of them weren't really very surprised. And the other half were completely cool with it. And they really didn't change too much. They didn't start shouting at me, but they took just maybe a little bit more time in explaining what was going on or asking something and just kind of checking in a little bit more to make sure that I got it. And it made a big difference. And all of a sudden, I didn't feel quite so on the outside. So I really owe a lot to her.
Working together is all about communication. And remember that communicating includes listening, especially with new coworkers. You might think with so much to learn, they should do all the listening. But newcomers might see things that you're not going to see, or ask questions that you won't think to ask. As Zen Master Shunryu Suzuki said, "In the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the experts, there are few." Even if they can't express their thoughts clearly, newcomers often have good ideas. They bring their previous work experience with them and can see things in new ways.
What do you mean?
At the load cell, it may not fit the weighted capacity.
Huh.
The load cell needs to exceed the weighted capacity.
And just the act of speaking up makes them feel more included.
Let's start with that.
If a coworker grew up speaking a different language, they deserve respect for the effort of learning yours. Remember that the person who is new or doesn't speak your language well has just as much to offer as anyone else on your team. Make the effort to include them so everyone can benefit from their contribution. Each of us is a whole person. We deserve to be accepted as our whole selves. But that does not mean others should pry. It's up to us to choose what we want to share about ourselves and when.
So it happened in the workplace, and what I saw there, what I noticed that at first folks were very surprised that I became very quickly open about being gay. And then they became very supportive, because I'd probably been there for a year already, and they knew me professionally, knew my work ethic and my work style, and what I did was I produced good work.
I think a time that I felt like an outsider in the workplace, was when I first came out and transitioned on the job over 10 years ago. Yeah, so I think, people will share with you when they feel comfortable. And so I think always going into environments where you're supporting and respecting somebody's identity, and if they want to share with you how they identify, they will.
Nowadays, we know that differences such as religion, disability, sex, and gender should not eliminate anyone who can get the job done. We also know that some aspects of our lives are personal and may or may not be suitable for workplace discussions. Respect privacy. Don't ask inappropriate questions. Always remain civil and polite. Each person is an individual, not just a representative of a group. Respect what a person wants to be called, both their name and pronoun. Don't exclude people because they are different from you. It's important to remember that harassment and discrimination on the basis of sex are against federal law. But it's not just the law. It's also the right thing to do. To treat others with the same respect we'd want if we were in their place. No one should have to work in an environment where they are treated unfairly because of who they are.
If you don't get something, if you don't understand it or agree with it, that's fine. But we still need to show everybody respect and be polite and understanding that everyone's bringing different things to the workplace, and that's fine.
One of the most effective ways to make newcomers and outsiders feel welcome is a buddy system. Some organizations have a structured buddy system in place. If yours doesn't, you can still be helpful just by watching out for someone.
I used to work for a cell phone company, and it was my first sales job, and I was the only minority on the team. And so, between people being veterans and not really wanting to take the time to coach me because it would take from their sales, and then also me being a minority, there was definitely something there, and I felt different. And I remember my supervisor at the time came out and was like, "Hey, everybody, we're all on the same team, and Grandison's part of that team, so I need you guys to help as much as you can. Because otherwise we're not going to be able to, get home on time and get the numbers that we need." And there's a guy next to me who immediately came over and said, "Hey, what do you need? Sorry about that." And I remember feeling like a lot better about the circumstance because, now I felt welcomed.
Be the person who helps others to feel welcomed.
Hey, put your stuff right over there.
Cool, thanks.
I'm Sean.
I'm on.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
This is Trevor.
Be the person who helps others to know their coworkers.
Let me show you around. Hey, this way. Hey, you like baseball?
Sure do.
Be sure to ask David about his kid.
Be the person who helps others to make connections.
He got all his talent from me. Hey, I was told I need to ship this out today.
Be the person who helps others to learn their jobs.
Got it.
All right. Hey, you want to do this inventory stuff?
Yeah, sure. I used to do this kind of stuff all the time.
Be the person who helps others to feel like a real contributor to the team.
Let me show you the program here.
And if you are the newcomer and you don't have a buddy officially assigned to you, try to find one.
I felt like I could ask kind of a stupid question and they weren't going to make me feel any stupider than I already was. And there's that safety that you feel that they're not going to just jump down your throat for every mistake you make.
But what if you are the newcomer or feel like an outsider? Maybe you can't change this feeling right away, but there are things you can do.
Can we have another meeting this afternoon, just kind of bounce some ideas from each other, yeah?
Great. What time's that?
I'll send you a text when we're ready. Wait, you do text, right?
What's texting? Yeah, I text.
Try not to be too easily offended. Extend yourself.
Hey.
Hey.
I hear you're interested in photography.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I'm taking a class.
Really?
Here, it's all about f-stops and shutter speeds. I'm trying to get past point and shoot.
I'm really into wildlife photography. Got some really great shots at Yellowstone last summer, even one of a wolf feeding on a carcass.
That's amazing. How'd you get that?
You know, right time, right place. I can show you, actually. You want to see my website?
Sure. Well, this is the way I'm used to doing it, but how do you do it here?
Yeah, that works, but here, let me just show you. This is a little
Be open to new ways of doing things.
There.
Oh, I see. That makes total sense.
Mm-hmm. It tended to be my work ethic, actually, that got me the respect of the rest of my coworkers. So, you know, at the end of the day, even if you find yourself in a situation where you're at a disadvantage because you're a newcomer or speak a different language or come from a different background, I think work ethic tends to kind of supersede all those things, and that was my experience.
As a newcomer or outsider, you want to feel included and respected. But don't just wait for it. Introduce yourself to people in other departments or on different crews. Try not to hang out exclusively with others who are just like you, even if you feel more comfortable with them. Teamwork doesn't happen all at once, especially for a diverse work group or after the arrival of a newcomer. It can feel a little uncomfortable at first if a coworker is different from you, but it's not about you being comfortable. Everyone feels awkward at the start, especially when you put yourself out there. That feeling goes away once you get to know them. Treat everyone as you would like to be treated. Show respect for each other's individuality. Success and happiness at work is just as much about relationships as it is about job skills. When we embrace diversity, we get a more relaxed, comfortable, and successful workplace for everyone. A place where we want to come to work because people are getting along and everyone is fully engaged. We all deserve this because we're all different.
I knew they wanted me to succeed, and they conveyed that to me in a lot of different ways, and a lot of it was just like helping me out.
And then, you know, where I came from or anything like that stopped mattering after a while.
And I started to really feel like I was there with these people on the team.